I'm not gonna put up with that. You gotta do this, such and so forth. All right, bring the next one in. You're outnumbered. That 125,000 is a real number. So if you want to live in the lifestyle you talk about you want to, your pool of men is shallow.
But that's why I know we disagree on the definition of middle class. That's why I said from middle class to high class, because I am aware of that. Where men who are in that top 10%, it's a lot harder to get them to be faithful and loyal to you because they are so wanted by so many women. And also when men have that status, it takes a lot longer for them to choose to be loyal to you versus everybody else, simply because they don't know what your intentions are for them. They don't know, is she with me for me genuinely or with me because of the benefits I provide? Whereas more of a middle lower class man, they know that you love them for them because they don't have those things that they think that you want that. And where you can only, like some women will settle for that.
But would you? So you'd be all right dating him, you'd be all right marrying a man who made, the average black man in this country makes $41,500.
No, I'm not okay with that. I told you earlier.
Okay, so that's why we even talking about all that. Women will talk about men like that, and that ain't the kind of man you would deal with. So it doesn't matter.
I feel like 70,000 is ridiculous or hard to
I don't.
attain.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But 15% of men earn that amount of money. 15.
Okay.
So still, whether you're in the top 10 or 15%, a man knows if he is a higher earner. And see, that's the thing, because I don't know what you do for a living, but most men at your age don't earn that kind of money.
I don't really date men my age.
But that's not the point. My point is, men have a more accurate representation of our actual sexual marketplace value. Women have an inflated estimation because of the amount of men you can deal with. I only judge based on the men who are trying to marry you. That's what you know where you really rank. What kind of men are trying to wife you? Coming with ring and intention. So all this other stuff is just philosophical. So when you're talking about these men up here are less likely to be loyal, the kind of men you're talking about are in that area too. But as far as we talked about loyal, cheating. When asked, 28% of black men in married or committed relationships have admitted to cheating. What percentage of black women have admitted to cheating in the same scenario? What do you think?
I would assume less, maybe 20%, 15%.
I would assume less.
What do you think? What number, approximately?
10% admit to cheating.
I would say 40% or more.
She's like the other group. 24%. So 28% of black men have admitted to cheating versus 24% of women. That's not a huge difference. So why do women complain so much about loyalty when y'all are cheating?
Both cheating.
Both cheating. But who files for divorce? And when relationships end, who's walking away with the kids and the money? Would you want to, in today's dating environment, would you want to be a man or a woman when it comes to the breakup?
Woman.
Why?
Because we reap the more benefits.
But is that the way you look at it? So you're really privileged. Women are very privileged today. But the way most time it gets talked about is that it's so hazardous. So I think it's been a good conversation, hopefully eye-opening. Do you have any questions?
I have any questions. I could talk all day about it.
Oh yeah, I actually may go live in a minute. What about you? I think your situation is okay. I think your situation is fascinating because you say you want to be. I don't sense that you want to be by yourself. I just think it's you don't want any rules.
I told you I want to be in a relationship, but say like I'm very picky because I understand that, and one, like how you mentioned, does race matter? There's a lot of things that matter with me. Obviously, I'm weird. I like cats and I like anime. I'm very picky about men, anyways. So knowing the statistics and everything, I know more likely than anything, I'll most likely end up alone. So because of that, I would rather be able to support myself.
Okay.
Do I want to find my dream guy? Absolutely.
But do you know what it? Now this is where it gets hard. You're 26.
Mm-hmm.
There are women who would tell you that they wish they were your age so they could make different choices. My whole tagline, buy a dog and die alone. Women are dying alone these days. And especially in Japan and Korea, Kotokoshi, people are being found dead. Well, so would it be, is it that you can't find somebody that you like, or do you think you'd be just too difficult to get along with?
I think it's a mixture of both.
But what can you control?
I can control how I react.
Right. I mean, are human beings different today? I mean, are we more nuanced? Or are we pretty much the same animal we've always been?
It's more finding someone that can tolerate me and get along with me.
Do you have a lot of patience?
Like I said, no.
There you go.
Like I said,
Ding, 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 ding.
choice.
Impatient.
To be happy with someone.
And the thing is, that's the problem. If you're supposed to be the empathetic ones, the nurturing ones, the patient ones, how the hell are you supposed to get anywhere if you're not patient? But
Typically, I'm not patient. I've learned patience from a situation, but now.
here's the uncomfortable reality. There are more women on the planet than men. And every day on my show, I talk to women who are 8s, 9s, and 10s, pretty beautiful and gorgeous, who are chronically single and miserable. Because you still have options. You guys have options at this age. The options at 30 drop by about half. At 40, they drop by roughly around 20%. After 50, it's pretty much game over. I had a 45-year-old virgin on my show the other day. So ultimately, I get what you're saying. But whatever goes around, you got to be able to get along with somebody.
I think another problem is the social setting that you're surrounded with too, and how you're going to find the type of person you want is depending on your social setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to find the type of person I want in the state of Florida.
Well, see,
I gotta get out of here.
well, that brings us to my next question. Are women lazy when it comes to mate selection?
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I would say yes.
No?
I'm not lazy when it comes to mate selection.
I got unlazy recently.
All right. So
But I guess generally, yeah.
Like in general, yeah.
well, I mean,
Girl's gonna wait for the right guy to come find her instead of,
so when's the last time
you're ready to
you?
have a mate and you're setting your intentions, you should be out there.
So when was the last time you stepped to the kind of man you were interested in?
When's the last time what?
When's the last time you stepped to the kind of man you were interested in and dropped your proverbial handkerchief?
Slid in his DM.
I did. I definitely do that. I do that all the time. I always take the lead. I always take initiative and lead. If I want it, I'm gonna go there. That's
Okay.
just me.
But, and that's one thing about online or in person?
Given my situation, I was on ECMO monitor for a long time. I just got out of prison, so it was online, but then in person. But yeah, and then I even flew out to LA, slid in someone's DMs, and so I would definitely take initiative.
The thing is, online is not real. You got to do it in person. And this is where Becky and them, the white girls with their hair flipping and flirting and so forth, because being feminine in an assertive and aggressive in a feminine way is going to be important, because like you said, the kind of men you would be interested in are looking to see who's genuine. And women who actually show interest. Men like women who like them. So I think it's interesting that when you ask most women about going to be a go-getter, get what they want as far as job, I'm gonna get my education, I'm gonna get my career, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. About a husband, he'll find me.
I was like that. I'm like, I'm gonna go find me a man.
Well, Miami ain't the place to find
And
nothing.
that's why I said I gotta get up out of here. And it's a lot of online and long distance stuff, and it's just not like a lot of interactions are better in person. And I've tried so much to take initiative to people that are outside of here, and just the long distance, it makes a difference.
You're from here, right?
When do you actually have time to socialize in the right crowd to find the person you want? Because you're either working or whatever, and maybe the person you want is not in your work field, so it's not as easy. You don't find time to go.
Well, that's the problem.
You go social with your girlfriends.
And that's right there. See, you have to. First thing I tell women to do is get rid of your single girlfriends, because single women keep women single. You have to find time to get out there and make yourself available to the kind of man you want, or else they'll find somebody else. They're gonna find somebody else.
And that's what I noticed about high value men. They're not looking, like they don't actively seek. Like whenever I find a high value man, 9 times out of 10, I was in the right environment and I approached them. High value men, they don't approach women. Like I feel like the men that are constantly approaching different women every day, they are the lowlifes of the men.
When you say high value men, what do you mean?
Like someone who is the typical ideal man that a woman would want, and they know that. They know they're handsome, they know they're financially stable, they know that they are able to be committed and loyal and to care for a woman that they think.
How do you know that when you first see them?
You can tell by the way they carry themselves. You can tell by what they wear.
You know their character?
You can get an idea of someone from the energy that they give off.
I don't think.
I can. Very big on energies.
I tell you, I made that mistake.
I'm an
those guys.
Well, this is where as an image consultant, person who reads people for a living, you're making an educated guess. Mm-hmm. But a high value man, but they tend to be wrong because it runs through your confirmation bias. A high value man, the way I define it, is a man who's earning a certain amount of money, 6 figures or more, because so $10,000 a month or more, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, because you can't be high value and homeless. I mean, it sounds nice, but that ain't real. He had to have made that money for about 3 to 5 years, so there's some consistency. Other high value men see him as a peer or a potential peer. He has a network of high value men and other people. He has a life that's kind of LinkedIn or level visibility. He's not just an entrepreneur. He actually has something you can point to. It's not, I'm VP of Mergers and Acquisition at Goldman Sachs. And then he's useful to others and the group. And men like that, because I've been talking about this high value men thing for the better part of 2 years. Men like that actively seek women. So when you say those kind of men don't, I think you may be conflating it with a high earning man. But high value men are looking for their counterpart because these men know that there is a ceiling in corporate America. There's a marriage cap on a lot of these things, and they're actively looking because they don't want to be out here doing this and doing that, doing this, because they got other shit to do. They're trying to get on down the path.
Can I clarify what I meant?
Well, let me say a couple of things. And I have a group with 1,000 people in it that I've handpicked. In that group, there have been 9 couples that gotten together and 4 marriages in less than a year. And I'm not a matchmaker. So these things happen. I think one thing about these kind of men, that you don't see them walking around there, and they're at the, at certain clubs. They're at the cigar lounge. They're at the bar at Ruth Chris. They're not socializing and doing a lot of stuff that most folks would do. So what are you gonna clarify?
What I meant was that they're not thirsty.
Mm.
Like when I say lower value men, I mean they're actively seeking a lot of women, like a lot, like every girl.
Yeah.
Like they're not picky. It's she's kind of cute, that's enough for me. Mm. So when I say that, I mean they're particular. They're not actively always looking for someone.
Well, I was saying in Miami is a different world too, because here a lot of guys are I've seen more fake watches and more rental cars this week. Well, the thing is, I'm going to be here often because I live in Atlanta, and I do this around the country, LA, Beverly Hills. And one thing is consistent. If you watch my content, I talked to men for years. What made me popular is I started talking to women about the very things the men who are my clients say they want from women. Because these men are actively looking for their feminine, beautiful, inspirational woman. I think that's been the biggest twist. Now the disconnect is how do you get around the kind of man you want, and how do you effectively shoot your shot without looking thirsty, without looking try hard or whatever. And one of the things I hope this do is change the temperament and how we approach one another, so it's not so suspect to where we're like, dating. I mean, this shit should be happy. It shouldn't be a burden. Like, God damn, I'm single. I got it. All right, well, that was dope. Ladies, I appreciate you guys coming out. More to come. Your godfather is signing off. I'll come up with a catchy outro, catchy tune at the end, but thank you, ladies, for appreciate it. We had other people leave. Y'all are gonna enjoy this. Godfather in Miami. It's hard out here for a pimp.